All right, welcome back to Blue by 90. I'm Justin, joined by actually Jack and Kaylin today. So Jack, I'm glad you made it.
In the wise words of Justin Rowe, maybe he took this quote from somebody else. Don't get bitter, get better. And I was feeling a little bitter. Now I'm feeling better, and we're back.
It is. Is that like the Michael Scott, like Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott?
Yeah.
Situation, Justin Rowe, Jim Harbaugh.
We
perfect. Are this podcast is brought to you by Hale IPA from North Peak Brewing. So grab that little. Do you guys hear that?
Ooh, that's a good crack.
That was crack. Cheers! Got my Blue by 90 beer here. Got my Hale
I'm doing
IPA
some taste
as well.
testing for competitor companies, so I'm not going to advertise what I'm drinking, but just making sure we're staying up to snuff with the other beers.
All right, perfect, good way to it's kind of like the what's the saying, like keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer.
Yeah. Exactly, dude.
That's the only reason why we never drink another beer. What's that?
I wish it was a Hale IPA. That's the best. Number one.
Maybe
number one beer in America.
That's what people are saying.
People are talking about it.
So, all right. I had a good time on Saturday. Again, shout out to Hale for providing all of our beer. We had the Blue by 90 beer and the Hale IPA there. Good tailgate. I mean, better tailgate than a game, I would say.
Dude, I had so much FOMO. Just fill me in on the tailgate. Then we can talk about the game and how terrible it was. How was the tailgate? Fill me in.
You can't start with the tailgate. You got to start pre-tailgate, moving into around 10 a.m.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah. How was the commercial?
Yeah. I mean, we are movie stars now.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, you got the looks of movie stars.
I mean, have you seen Entourage?
That's what
that's like you guys.
That's exactly.
You look like a Tanner.
I look like Tanner. Wow.
Yeah, and then Justin's just a taller E. It's great.
I thought you were gonna say Turtle.
No, I'm Turtle. I think we all know that.
I do love Turtle. I do. I might be Johnny Drama. I don't know.
Tanner might be Johnny Drama.
We did a little video shoot to promote North Peak and Hale and Pretzelwell. So watch out for that. Coming soon. But yeah, it was a good day. It started that at 10 a.m. I mean, people think it's easy just to be us, but they don't understand the work we're putting in it was like a 15-hour day, for us to go from commercial to tailgating to the game. I mean, it's hard to drink 15 beers. Not everyone can just do that.
Somebody's got to do it though, and that's what we're here for. You guys, fun fact. Remember the last time we were doing a commercial? I think it was for blueby90.com. I was also sick then.
Oh.
What were we doing? I don't remember.
It was like remember you saw Jimmy
we
King?
saw Jimmy King.
And you were like, hey, you heard of Blue by 90? And then you guys were doing like the shoot like downtown, like asking people about it. And like I was on the phone. You guys like FaceTime me and I'm like head against my bed, like just fucking dying.
It's starting to sound like it's a you problem.
It is, dude. I get sick once a year and it's the day we have commercials.
Are you scared of the camera?
I am. I've got a very dark, room right now. I've got my hat on low. I just, I don't want anybody to see me.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, shit.
Well, it's coming out soon. Hopefully,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. We'll see.
I will say one really funny moment at the tailgate. We were watching like Kansas State, Mizzou, or like one of those games where it's like right down to the wire. It's like the last play and the like generator runs out. TV goes black. And everyone's like, wait, like, I don't think anybody even noticed. And then I like go back there and Rose just like dumping gas into the
shit.
It was a panic mode for sure. I filled it up earlier. I don't know why it burned a lot quicker, I thought, than like the first week. So I don't know if we were pulling more.
I love the subtle flex of we have a generator now as opposed to what was it 2 years ago? We're hooking up cables to the fucking car
Literally,
battery.
like I'm like a mad scientist, like hooking up wires to my truck to like draw power from that.
Yeah. Don't cross the wires. Don't cross streams.
Yeah. We've come a long way.
Come a long way
for sure.
All right. How was the game? You guys tell me how. I want to hear what you guys think about the game.
I mean, I'll say this. Let's start with the light show. Light show was awesome.
I've got an opinion about it.
You've got what?
I've got an opinion about it.
Right,
So you were in the big house, right, watching the game.
Yep.
Did you feel like sometimes it was just too much?
I said it to Kaylin right before we just jumped on here. I said, I think our collaborative opinion was they were just a little too excited about it.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was really, really cool, but there were times where it's like, all right, maybe we scale that one back a little bit, you know?
It's not even like the maize and blue lights. It was like when they sprinkled in the fucking bright ones. Even like I'm watching from home on my fucking laptop and I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm about to have a seizure.
Yeah, sometimes I wasn't sure if it was like the broadcast because like don't even get me started on BTN, but like there were times where I'm like, it's like dark and I can't even see what's happening right now watching from TV.
Yeah, it was I mean it was really cool at times, but definitely there were times where it was like you don't need it every time. Like I said to Kaylin, when you like are marching down the field and trying to score a touchdown, but have to settle for a field goal, and then they still do the lights after a made field goal, I'm like, what if we didn't do that? You know what I mean?
Like 50, 45, 50-yard plus, sure.
Right.
You know, game winner, sure. Buzzer beater, sure. Home run, we'll take it. You know?
When your drive stalls out and you have to settle for like a 25-yarder, then it just feels like we're like really trying too hard.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like Sharon Moore's like writing up something on the sideline. Goes dark. He's like,
I did think of that. Like, honestly, you know, Harbaugh wasn't on the sideline, but I was thinking about how much Harbaugh is going to hate that. Like, for the future night game, he's going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm trying to figure shit out. And
see, I think it goes one of two ways there. It's either it goes that way or he's just sitting there like a senile old man, like, wow,
what is this?
This is great. I don't think there's an in between. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we do have him back this week. What do we think is what's going to change? Are you guys? So I mean, we'll get into like actual like more deeper analysis of this game, but you know, I would say there are some people out there that are like underwhelmed by how Michigan played in the first three games, or at least how the score, you know, ended up after four quarters. And you get Harbaugh back. Do you think things change when he comes back? Like, what do you think he brings to the table now?
Dude, I'll be honest. I hope things don't change. Like, as far as like play calling and whatnot, I think I really enjoyed the play calling the first three games. I think the last game, it was like, all right, like this team's not perfect. Right? Like you're bound to have a game where you have a few fuck ups. And I think there was a couple throws where JJ was like, all right, we could have just thrown that away. And I think even that one pick near the end zone, it was like, you know, the receiver might not have ran the route that he was supposed to. Like, I feel like he should have been in front of his defender that whole way, and looks like he got behind him. And maybe that's not what it was intended for. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's hiccups along the way. It's game 3. Get them out before you play Rutgers, undefeated powerhouse football team. I'll tell you what, I don't know what the line is, but I'm probably going to take Rutgers with the points.
They're not bad.
No, Greg Schiano, baby.
Yeah, I mean, what does Harbaugh bring? He's definitely going to bring stability, right? I mean, kids come to Michigan to play for Harbaugh. So having him coach on the sidelines and everything like that, I think that's going to be huge. Another question, though, that does spur for me is now you've seen a little bit of the portfolio of all of these other assistant coaches as a head coach. So for you guys, who would you hire as a head coach based on what you've seen?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Maybe next time you have just one interim head coach. In hindsight, I think that's it was cool. Whatever, you get a lot of people experience and all that stuff. But I think that for the players, it just felt like there was just so much going on. There's somebody new in. I mean, even each half, in that UNLV game, and I don't know, it just felt a little odd, didn't it?
I'm gonna gaslight the shit out of you guys. I don't think I'm using the word correctly there, but it feels like it's the right word for this conversation.
Okay.
Do you think that each of those, games that we had 4 different, however many interim head coaches, do you think those were a job interview because Harbaugh's taken off after we win the Natty this year?
Well, first of all,
maybe he wants to put him in the best hands possible for 2024.
First of all, you weren't even close with the definition of gaslighting.
No,
not even in the right realm.
Dude, I feel like it's been explained to me a million times, and I still don't understand it.
I don't even know what you what word you were trying to describe.
It's like misleading you, right?
It was what?
It's like misleading or like fake news, or right? Is that what gaslighting is?
I mean, kind of a little.
I feel like we're just reading off the Merriam-Webster's new words of 2023.
I don't hate it.
I mean, gaslighting is when you're I don't it's hard to describe, but you're projecting onto somebody, or you're egging them on, or not egging them on, but it's definitely just not
convincing them that.
I love that I can almost get away with this because we're all too stupid to know what gaslighting actually is.
Well, no, Kalen was about to say it. Kalen's right.
That's why I had to cut him off. I couldn't let him.
Let's just leave it there. Let's leave it there.
All right, perfect.
Regardless, another big word. Do you think that could be?
Big word now?
It's got 3 syllables, baby.
I definitely think there was a little bit of that for coach. Let's get some of these guys, some experience. I think that, I don't know, Sharon. I like Sharon a lot. I think Jesse Minter is. He was the most surprising to me in how well he handled that, because I don't think before game 1 this year anybody was talking about him being a head coach yet. A lot of people talking about Sharon Moore being a head coach, even Mike Hart. I don't know that anybody was talking about Jesse Minter, and he's done really well. Now Michigan leads through 3 games, leads the nation in scoring defense. We've only given up 13 points through 3 games.
I think there's a lot to say too with another thing. My mind's kind of all over the place right now, but when you're a head coach, the biggest thing you're trying to do, right, is just kind of set the tone. Set the tone for the team. Coordinators do majority of the work as far as working with players, play calls, matchups, etc. Right?
Yes.
I didn't have anything after that. That's just kind of right. I don't know. I don't know where I was going, but I'm just gonna hand it off to somebody here.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Sure,
I'm not wrong.
The coordinators are definitely the ones that draw up the game plan on defense and offense. Jim is giving his oversight, and then the position coaches are helping with those one-on-one battles, I think, and finding the weaknesses. But I think Sharon Moore draws up the game plan on the offensive side of the ball, and Jesse Minter does it on the defense. You're correct.
I think based off what I just said, as a guy who you think would set the best tone, I think Sharon Moore. If I had to pick any of them, I'd be all right,
I think so
Moore.
too.
He's a fucking dog.
Wow, Jay Harbaugh slept on out here.
I do like Jay.
Yeah.
Jay,
I love Sharon Moore's passion. I'd bring Don Brown back to head coach if people would listen to me.
Well, that's why you sit
You
at
go to
home.
UMass.
Yeah. One thing, somebody said something to me the other day about Jay Harbaugh, it was nepotism. And I snap back on him. Like, I think you could have gotten away with that comment 5 years ago, but now he's been a different position coach like every year for Michigan, and they've excelled in his position group every single year. And I mean, special teams has been phenomenal, obviously, for us. Shout out Brad Robbins. I'm rocking the Brad Robbins.
Let's go, baby. The mustache.
So shout out Brad. Shout out Moody, who's just dominating the NFL.
On my fantasy team, he's my fantasy kicker.
That's awesome. How awesome is it to be able to draft our friends in?
So fucking cool. I put in a support ticket to ESPN
that we're friends with Jake Moody.
I put in a support ticket to ESPN Fantasy Football. I was like, hey, can we like draft punters instead of just a full special teams unit? And they didn't get back to me. So, but Brad, I was trying. If you're listening, I was trying to get you on there.
They will get back to you, I'm sure. They're just a little backed up, I'm sure.
Yeah, a little busy.
Yeah. No, I like Sharon a lot. I think Sharon is the obvious pick there, but I'm gonna say Jesse surprised me in a good way. The only thing I had on for this last game is like JJ's last pick. They put Orgy in, then put JJ back in. Like, right. Why did that happen?
I know. Even the commentators were like, yeah, like you want to be able to have like a run pass like threat. But if you're switching out the quarterbacks, they kind of know what's coming.
Right. It becomes obvious.
Yeah. So I was like, and just in my own selfishness, I wanted to see Orgy sling the ball a little bit. But yeah, I thought that was a little strange. Like, what's the point? It's almost like when back in 2016, Jabril was like taking snaps, and you're like, okay, every time he's running the ball, one time he's going to throw it, and the guy's going to be wide open. Yeah. Like maybe that's the scenario. There's like game planning for Ohio State already, which I love, and that's what I'm just going to think is happening.
I'll do you one better.
But it was strange in the moment for sure.
Even more Michigan, even more on brand for Michigan, right? Putting in Dylan McCaffrey, who was your backup quarterback, and all he did was run. And you go like, you know, at some point the guy's got to throw, especially for Orgy, right? The whole point is you want to see who your backup quarterback is. Your backup quarterback better be able to throw the ball. So I'm just like a little bit, I'm sure they have a plan, but as a fan, I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Where did McCaffrey end up?
At North Dakota State or something like
Colorado State.
Yeah, right? North Colorado or something.
North Colorado.
North Colorado. That's probably what it was. Yeah. Never mind.
Dion. I think that's where Dion coaches.
Well, I was going to say, do you think if McCaffrey was quarterback of Colorado State, they would have beat, prime times Buffaloes?
I don't know, but that was a great game.
Great game.
I'm not gonna lie. I went against the grain. I was rooting for Colorado State in that game.
Why?
Because I don't know. I just think that they're the underdog for sure in that. Like everyone in the world is rooting for Dion in that. And Colorado State was like the worst team in the country last year when we played them. And for them then to after all that shit talk was going on, for them to still as 30-point underdogs or whatever they were to play with them, I thought was pretty cool.
That's fair.
I love how Offset was at the game going buy my mixtape.
It was.
What did he say? Buy my mixtape?
Pretty much. He was like, check out my album, check out my new mixtape, something. I was like, what is going on?
That's incredible.
It was the Colorado game was the Staples Center for the Lakers. The Rock's there, Lil Wayne's there, Offset. It was absurd what was going on. Dion's obviously doing it. It's all a ploy. And Bryce Underwood, if you're listening to this, it's not cool at all. It's pretty fucking cool.
Just wait till they play.
Before you finish that, I was going to say it kind of reminds me of Harbaugh's first year. Got Jeter there. You got Michael Jordan in the second year. He had everybody over there. It's kind of very, very similar to that.
Totally.
Yeah. USC, when I play USC, right? I expect NWA to be there or something.
Yeah. So to bring this back to Bryce Underwood, do you want, when you go to college, do you want Harbaugh year 2 or do you want Harbaugh year whatever he is at Michigan? They're the same guy. I'd rather be at where he's at now. So
you're saying Dion is Harbaugh year 2?
Dion is Harbaugh year 1 right now.
Right, but next year you're saying he would be
Correct.
Harbaugh. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that, that's an interesting recruiting pitch. we'll probably leave the recruiting to the recruiting directors, I would guess. But
they need a second opinion. I'm here. I'm available.
Yeah, I think that's good. Appreciate you as always.
Do I can to support the team,
All right, let's talk this game. Michigan versus Bowling Green. 14-6 at halftime. That part was super underwhelming. They pulled away in the third quarter. The second string still didn't score for the third straight game. A little concerning on there. JJ's 3 picks, very concerning, I would say. But here's my take on it is I think there are a lot of people that after week 2 were saying JJ for Heisman, right? And then he has one, including Jack, which is fine. And then he has one, let's just call it what it is, a really bad game. And then you're like, complete panic mode, doomsday. I don't think you can be on both ends of the spectrum there. That's just overreaction 101 to me.
Yeah, I'm still JJ for Heisman. I still think Joe Milton has a shot at the Heisman. He's had a not so great year, but when I'm in, I'm all in. Diving head first, regardless if I know how to swim or not. That's where I go. And it could have been a 4-pick game for JJ if Cornelius can bat that ball, around. That might be another pick.
CJ bailed him out there for sure. I think sometimes you just have a bad day, and it was very obviously not JJ's day. I think he showed us he has shown us that in the past from he's still a very good quarterback, obviously. If he were to do this a few times in a row, then I'm like, okay, let's then we're cause for concern. But right now I'm going to call it a bad day for a 21-year-old kid that's still super young and has the weight of the world on his back right now.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, if ever there was a week to not play your best, I mean, we're just blending in to the scene of college football right now.
Yeah, dude, holy shit. I was rooting for South Florida against Bama.
Oh, my gosh.
Bama
South Florida,
was playing
Bama?
at South Florida, too.
I mean, literally every game, right?
Georgia program,
Georgia was down like 13-3 or something at halftime.
Oh, I almost live bet that game.
I think Texas, Wyoming, it was like 10-3 or something at half. Like literally is all around all of college football. Nobody could figure it out.
Weird weekend.
There's always one of these weeks, like early on in the season, I feel like, where it's a bunch of and this was the week where there were no good games, right? Like there wasn't really a good game, until Colorado State, and that still was like a 30-point, spread. And so I think somebody pulled it up on the stats that like this similar week last year was when a bunch of upsets happened. And so as much as you want to be concerned, you want your team to play well, and we'd all obviously rather have JJ go for 4 touchdowns and 0 picks and play perfectly. But like you said, get this stuff out of your system now. I think my take on it is that it's your third shitty game of in a row. It's hard to get up for it. For a night game against Bowling Green too, you're just sitting around all day long. There's a million opportunities for distractions and to be not locked in. It's not like you're preparing for the Penn State night game, or something or whatever else. And so I think and also guess what? For the third straight week, you have the 4th different head coach. Your real head coach is still not there. There are so many factors here that I think it gives a little leeway for these guys to not play so well. And still you end up with a completely dominant win on paper too. So I think I'm definitely not sitting here hitting the panic button after week 3.
No. And Kalen, I'd be curious. I know you've got these models you're running for betting. I'm curious if you can find this out too. I think we always know the 2 weirdest weeks in college football, or 2 most exciting, however you want to categorize it, is always Halloween weekend and then the last game of the regular season. Is week 3 the 3rd?
It might be. I mean, I would always fall back to the weirdest year in college football, 2007, right?
Oh, God, let's not talk about it.
Yeah, which we started off.
Week
terribly,
one never happened. Week one
but
never happened.
I mean, week 3 of that year? I think like Kansas was number 2 or something like that.
Really?
Fucking
So,
Jayhawks.
I've blocked that year out of my memory for
So that's a weird year for sure.
Except for when Michigan beat the Florida Gators in between their national titles in a bowl game.
True. And Lloyd Carr got hoisted, carried out.
Yeah.
I think here my take too was like this game was way more us being stupid than it was us being bad, right? It wasn't like bad, like it wasn't like we were getting dominated anywhere. It was just making stupid decisions. And like newsflash, if you've ever watched college athletics before, young kids make stupid decisions. It happens a lot. And so as mature as JJ is, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, he can't do that. He's in his 3rd year now, blah, blah, blah. Like this stuff happens, all the time. I'm not going to say I'm okay with it. But I'm still not going to, hit that panic button right now. And I fully expect Coach Harbaugh to come back, JJ to feel comfortable. And, even though it's going to be a very good Rutgers team, I fully expect for them to go out and be 100% more locked in than they were this past Saturday. Yeah,
I mean, it's exciting, right? Big Ten football. Again, I don't know what the spread is, but I think I'm taking Rutgers with the points. I think it'll be a close game.
I just looked it up.
I was
shocked. 27.5?
Yeah, Rutgers and the points. Fucking lock it in.
There's
no chance. We haven't covered the spread once this year.
That seems absurd to me, but
put your money on that now.
Am I looking at the right thing? I got to pull this up because I can't.
Yeah, there's no chance.
This is good podcasting right here. I'll tell you that.
Oh, while we have a lull,
Michigan minus 24.
24?
That's still a lot of points.
I'm taking Rutgers in the points.
For a 3-0 really solid Rutgers team.
Yeah.
They run the ball.
They're an Adidas school. Although they're an Adidas school, they're probably the most talented Adidas school in the country right now.
Who are the other Adidas schools? There really aren't that many left, I feel.
Who cares? Kick them out.
Cares is the correct answer there.
Yeah, put them in the FCS where they belong.
Oh, man. What were you going to say before I rudely interrupted you?
Oh, no. So I was making my bed today for the first time in God knows how long. And a thought occurred in my mind. As a man, I don't know. I know we all sleep differently than women and how we're supposed to sleep and whatnot. Do you put a sheet between your blanket and your body when you go to bed? Or do you have the blanket touching your body?
The blanket is in like the comforter?
Sure. Like you've got your bed sheet, right? And then you've got like the top sheet. Do you have the top sheet touching your skin? Or do you have the comforter touching your skin when you sleep?
I think you're supposed to have a sheet.
I know what you're supposed to do. What do you do?
I have a sheet right now. I have like sheets that are on the bottom that I lay on. Then I have a sheet, and then I have the comforter.
Interesting. Kalen?
I'm just straight comforter.
Thanks, boy. Let's fucking go. So maybe I have shitty sheets. I don't know. But it's just like not comfortable. I'm like, I'd rather feel this soft, beautiful. Look at this. This is my summer fall blanket. It's got a nice weave texture to it. You can see my hand through it.
Oh,
very comfortable. Very comfortable. I want that touching my skin when I sleep. I don't want this fucking
I think the point is that you can much more easily wash comforter. Wash the sheets than a comforter.
Or duvet. I know my bedding.
That's a word.
That is a word.
Yeah.
Spell that.
Jack's gaslighting us.
I'm gaslighting the shit out of you guys right now.
DUV.
You think I made my bed today, idiots?
Look at these guys sleeping on beds.
Yeah, the real answer should have been I sleep on the fucking floor, dude. Much cooler.
What's a bed?
Better for your back.
This is like when Kinch was like, I've never seen somebody more comfortable than Kinch when he slept in full clothing on the couch. And we were like, "Do you need a blanket?" He's like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, "Do you just sleep like in the park nearby too?"
The man is just so ready to be homeless. He's just so ready. He's prepared for life.
Oh my God, that's incredible. All right, that's a good tangent. I like that. Yeah, I mean, this is when we need like more women in our lives. I think.
Oh, the only reason I know what a duvet is because of that. I'm like, what? It's like a dessert. Is that like a croissant?
It's a dessert.
A croissant.
I feel like if a duvet definitely could be a dessert for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sounds tasty to me.
Yeah, your dinner tonight is some swordfish with some duvet afterwards. Yeah, I'd be like, okay.
That sounds incredible. I'll take 2.
Shout out to the women at the Blue by 90 tailgate because the difference between weeks 1 and 2 and 3 for the food spread was unbelievable, and it was only because we had more women there. Really, that's it.
And it's because women are smarter than men.
Oh, it's not even close.
We went from burgers and dogs to like a charcuterie board.
I know. I was like, I saw charcuterie boards. I was like, oh, somebody must be in town. They must have figured something out.
Shout out my mom.
Dog, though. Shout out
my mom and Kaylee. And
she's
Jordan.
a beauty.
Yep.
And now I mixed it up a little bit. Took the burger and then I took some of the cheese from the charcuterie board, spread it on the burger.
I like that a lot.
Game changer.
That's a boy dinner right there, baby.
Can we also BB's Big House, my guy? He's recording a pod with Tanner right now, so go give that a listen after you guys listen to us.
That's a smart podcast.
That you want to know? It is the smart podcast. This is what he just texted me. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm about to put it on the screen. Look at this spreadsheet. It's absurd.
That is absurd.
Let me see.
I mean,
that's great.
I'm not even going to try to interpret what that is about or what it says, but it's beautifully highlighted. And the dude's just a maniac.
Content.
He loves this shit.
It is position by position breakdown from the BG game of snaps, pass plays, run plays, their overall grade. I mean, this is ridiculous.
How does he make the grade?
I think it's got to be a PFF grade.
You know who BB is? He's CJ 20 years from now. I swear to God, the man doesn't sleep. He just lives, breathes, and eats football.
I mean, it's ridiculous. That's like a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
He
needs to work with somebody way better than us. Like ESPN.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, make your own site.
Seriously. Oh my God. That's good stuff. Let's
talk some defense.
Oh, I do like the defense. So as bad as the offense, I guess, was on Saturday, the defense stepped up. The first thing I noticed all game long was just how much in the backfield we were at all times. Even on the run plays, it was like we're meeting them 2 yards deep into their backfield.
Kalen, you go. I'm not a defense guy.
Oh no, it was great. I love seeing Chris just get penetration to the backfield. Jalen Harrell, another guy, started hearing his name a lot more often. So I think that they're starting to find their edge rushers. And what I also thought was interesting, and I was like kind of thinking about this today, was I don't think we've seen very many like linebacker blitzes yet. So that's like a whole nother thing that we should start seeing more often.
We did see a corner blitz though. Mikey had a sack. Chris Jenkins had a pick. Well, okay, this is my contribution to defense right here. Can we talk about the thick boys we got in the middle? Cam Good and Kenneth Grant. Holy shit.
Cam Good, big boys. He needs a wide load sign on his butt.
And it's not like he's tall and big. Like he's he's girthy.
He's girthy for sure. He is an absolute square shape.
It's my man.
Yeah. I'm glad he's on our side. Yeah,
absolutely. This defense is doing really well. I think that they're animals. Chris Jenkins is incredibly incredibly athletic for how big he is. It's really ridiculous.
And we're still waiting on Rod Moore. So
yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
We're only going to get
that. Finally came back. Rod Moore, we're still waiting on. Dude,
Yeah.
there's some guys on defense that are like, even on the team that's been playing, and I like to consider myself a semi-casual fan, but like, I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? I finally figured out that transfer from Coastal Carolina was number 5 on defense this past game. I was like, oh shit, that's where he's been. He's just a number I didn't recognize.
Yeah, he's there. He's there. I mean, Keon Sabb has been playing really well on the backside. Makari, I think, finally got in, right?
He was playing.
Yeah.
Who was the transfer from
Nebraska?
Boston? UMass.
Josh
Wallace continues to play well.
Yeah.
I like him.
The one thing, okay, I wasn't really sure what was fully going on in the second half because Bowling Green was just running the ball like 4 straight downs every series. I was confused after a while there, but like I think they were just at a loss for what to do because we were just swallowing them up.
Now they definitely came like it became obvious to me that they scouted us when we started seeing their special teams, right? And they were doing that pooch kick thing. Our poor guy Brady was just not. He was like, wait a second,
dude.
I mean,
it broke my heart.
He's really, you just gotta fair catch it, my man. Just fair catch it. Don't be the hero.
Dude, I was rooting for him. I was like,
return
it. Take it to the house.
He
was like, I'm gonna fucking rock this guy, and then he's like, oh shit, ball squirted out.
As much as I love him, and as much as I would kill to see him take it to the house on that, like you just throw up the hand. Let's get to the next series. You'll be good to go. You'll keep your job. You'll be all right. One question I have is why is Braden McGregor on kick return?
Ooh,
pretty far back too.
Yeah, like I feel like he should be like front lines. If he's on
that, then he needs to be in the front line for sure.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was definitely interesting. I don't know.
Who was the head coach for that game? Sharon Moore?
Yeah.
Fire him. Get him out of there. I mean, liability. Absolute liability. What are you thinking?
The sad thing is if you scrolled Michigan Twitter during that game, there were probably tweets saying that. Like,
oh, I'm sure.
Like, what are we doing? This is ridiculous.
Yeah. No. I try to stay off that avenue of Twitter best I can.
I had some friends that were like texting me Saturday night and Sunday morning, and they were in the Doomsday, just like, I'm like, I think I said this on the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago too. Like, we're 28-3 in our last 31 games. We should probably just enjoy that. I'm not saying you can never have any like negative thoughts. When JJ throws his 3rd pick, it's not like I'm like super happy, but I'm just saying when we're still winning, what was it, 35-6 or whatever the final score was, like you can be concerned, but still like, hey, I think we're pretty good. We're still the number 2 team in the nation. Like, we'll still be all right.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too is like the only thing I could think of to like complain about from that last game is like if we have a clean game, maybe Michigan's the number 1 team in the country. That's the only thing to complain about, but it doesn't even fucking matter, dude. Make it to the playoff. You just got to be top 4. But I think if they play a clean game, you might be number 1.
I mean, that's very true. But at the end of I don't know.
It doesn't matter. No,
still got to go beat Ohio State and go do it all, right? Yeah. So I'm like, just go win the games. Last year, this was the whole thing last year where everyone's talking like, oh, their schedule sucks, blah, blah, blah. They don't play anybody in the non-conference. It's like they threw up the double middle fingers to everyone and just went out and won every game. And then it's like, now what are you going to say to me?
Yeah.
So
it's wild that people have that like, oh, they didn't play anybody. And then like you cannot see anything from ESPN on Instagram without them going like, Colorado beat them too. And I'm like, dude, what happened?
Exactly. Which is,
Ugh.
they're playing
Headline.
Nebraska, who's bad. Colorado State, who they're better this year, but statistically they were like one of the worst 10 teams in the country last year. And have to go to double OT, but it's still like the greatest win ever for Dion.
Yeah, I get it. They were 1-11 or whatever last year, but like, let's be fair here. Come on.
Exactly. So I don't know. It just gets me riled up a little bit when people are overreacting like that. Just go sing hail to the victors. Enjoy it. Enjoy another Michigan victory because there were times when we weren't having Michigan victories, guys. There were times. It wasn't that long ago. It drives me nuts. So, all right, I'm excited for Big Ten play, though. I think we'll plan to have another pod coming up this week. Andy, shout out Andy Kunkler because he was mad that we didn't have a second pod last week. So
I fucking love that guy.
For him, we have to. Shout out to him for coming by the tailgate as well.
Do we think we can get into Grizzly Peak or Jolly Pumpkin and Dexter or something for a live pod?
Yeah, we probably
could.
Sick.
That sounds kind of fun.
I'm down.
Cool.
I'm down for that.
Cool.
Yeah. With that, do you want to do a little ad read for them? Go for it.
Hell yeah, dude. North Peak Brewing Company. Shout out to them. Justin's drinking a Blue by 90 beer right now. And, Hail IPA. Actually, he's drinking a Hail. My apologies.
I got both.
IPA.
I got both.
My new favorite IPA. Some people are talking about it. They get it confused with Two Hearted. I'm like, no, it's Hail. They're like, oh, did taste better. So I thought it was, I wasn't sure. But, North Peak Brewing Company. You can get a Jolly Pumpkin, Pretzel Bell. North Peak, Grizzly Peak, up in Traverse City, locations all across Michigan. We love their beer. And shout out to those guys for, teaming up with us this year. We're excited to keep drinking and, advertise as much as we can for them.
Cool. Love it. Shout out to them. And for us, you can follow us at Blue by 90 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Blue by 90 Podcast. Oh, no, I fucked it up.
No. Damn, I was just getting ready to praise you.
All right. And for us, you can follow us at Blue by 90 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Blue by 90 Podcast on YouTube, and blueby90.com. We appreciate you. Go Blue.
Smooth finish. Go Blue.
Go Blue.